All right, going live in 3, 2. Oh shit, already live. Hey, we're live. It's Ham here at Wizard Council Gaming. I don't know if my speaking volume is okay. These headphones kick ass. I can barely fucking hear myself. Game audio is. It's been a long time since I've done a live episode for Valkyria. It's or a live anything, because we've been out of the office here for a little bit. Just a lot of extras happening. You know, we have Mother's Day, and then we said fuck it last weekend. I'm sure we'll get back in. I've been doing improvements to the studio while everyone's gone. So I hope that the audio picks up a lot better now. Because before it sounded like we were in a fucking walk-in freezer. Now it seems like when I do the test records that it comes through pretty good. But that's not why we're here. I'm here to talk about some Valkyria Chronicles. I don't know if you could hear that, but I got some sound bites. They're fucking hilarious. So, I want to say this is somewhere in the halfway mark of Valkyria. And after the last episode, it was fairly obvious that, you know, this game goes on and on and on, my friends. I've had all kinds of crazy experiences since the start of this project. It's been over a month since I've done a live. And part of that's because the lives don't work. It's too long. It's so much content to like cycle through. So I just decided better to cut them up, turn it into something that's like a little easier to watch, not so, you know, they're long. It's a fucking long ass game. It takes for fucking ever. There's some stuff that's happened since the last live, if that's what you care about. People died. My original goal to leave out the party members who were not like, you know, of like a certain age bracket, that no longer works, because people died. And so, you know, I love permadeath games. They build cohesion, in that you definitely know what part of the fucking story I'm at because of who's still alive. I have a tendency, I like to play things in the difficulty increased, and just, it's like I want to sweat. I don't get that in many games. You know my game preferences, or you learn them a little bit, maybe in the watching of the channel, of which there's only like 5 of you, so, you know, thanks. This is Gallia. It's a smallish place. Decimated by war. I think the last time I was live, I was talking about how analogous this is to current events, and then current events really got charged, and that fucking sucks to know. I knew. I hate knowing. And now everybody fucking knows. So you don't gotta be the only one no more. You know, I spent a lot of, I do some extracurriculars. We got some tech set up. I figured it's best focus on one thing at a time and some feel goods. Hence why I'm here at the studio now, doing it live. We're doing it live. I don't know how many times I gotta say that, like I'm fucking reminding myself. Read. Did you read? I hope so, because I'm gonna do this. Actually, this is a great way to traverse this whole segment. What the fuck was I talking about? No, don't remind me. Right. I don't know that I'll ever really be able to do another live Valkyria, especially for combat. It just takes so long, and it's impossible. I just don't want to force you to sit through all of that decision-making paradigms that's required to fucking... It's about an hour and 45 minutes or 2 hours worth of gameplay, and then I go back through and I cut those lives down to, or the record down. There I did it again. I cut the record down to somewhere about 30 minutes, which requires like 4 separate edits in order to get it into a something that I can then work with as a whole. I run out of cuts. I can only do so much with what we got. But on the other note, though, like the story portions of the game, those go through really easy, and I find that is nice and fun to watch. I've contemplated I may at the end of the series do like a edit and have like a just combat, just story segment. Now some of the storyline bleeds over from the combat, so that would be kind of difficult to like make happen. But as we continually build up the studio and make things better and figure out what the fuck we're doing. None of us have done any of this before. We just kind of decided on a whim that we're old now, and we've been playing games for so long that because it's second nature, there's no reason to just not fulfill what we're capable of. I wish we had started all this projects like years ago, you know. But now that we're in it, it's a learning curve. We're taking some time to figure things out. Each day in the studio avails some new bullshit we never really anticipated, or maybe we could have foreseen if... But no, it's new bullshit all the time, and it's fun problem solving all of this. However, it feels like a setback in the updated versions, wherein, you know, we're gonna go like a week or so without content, and then the next video looks better, but then they take longer to process and that kind of horseshit. Not that, you know, we're not totally in love with the process, or at least I am. I love it. I sit here and edit videos all goddamn day long. Ironically, though, part of this update on Valkyria is that I am going to be putting the series on hold for a little bit. Not because it's something I don't want to follow through with, but I just feel like I reached like a decent stopping point. You know, chapter 14 was really intense, super cool visuals, and it created some subcontext and had a little bit of a climax there, and now it's, you know, like moving into a new addition to the story. In fact, the book readout for that is there's no combat in this particular chapter, so I'm just letting it kind of fetter out, and I'm gonna pick up another series in a similar style, on some other turn-based stuffs. Those will, of course, none of these are going to be live because turn-based combat, it's just abhorrent to watch. It's so fucking irritating because you want to make better decisions than whomever you're watching play through. And it takes so long sometimes to do that stuff. So as I've worked up the skill of what and wheres and how to cut up this turn-based cycle that I've experienced in Valkyria, I'm going to take that into other games that are turn-based and have some permadeath and other fun stuff. So I found a game called Warsaw, about the invasion of Poland, and it actually has a bit of a Darkest Dungeon vibe, but it is it's pretty intense. You know, not to take on like the heart-wrenching feels of like war and the horrifying aftermaths and repercussions of it, but like, yeah, you gotta play through, and I feel that I can actually do both series at the same time. So I'd like to take a little bit of a step back from Valkyria, let it stew up to this sort of midway point with the story after Alicia is her ancient blood awakens and whatnot, and then leave that cliffhanger to start another series that's somewhat synonymous with this and find out if I can hack it. I don't know. It was at a specific point in time somewhat traumatic to play this game. I still have moments where I get genuinely a little teary watching the shit go down, because you have to recognize the truth of combat, of what war does to people, and though we're ostensibly removed from it, either geologically or whatever, I don't feel that you can take yourself on the emotional quotient completely out of it. And so that was one of the main factors to me no longer doing these live, because you could feel the mixed emotions as it came through in the clarity of my voice and everything, and I just was like, this is my first video series that I've done for the channel solo, and I just didn't want it to end up on a sour note. Hence the current pace in which it's going. I'm able to get about 2 episodes out a week, and pre-recorded, they go by fairly easy. A lot of them just sit in editing for almost the entire week, especially the combats. But nonetheless, yeah, gives me time. This new chapter gives me time to settle into, I guess, a generalized motif that I'm heading towards, and that's turn-based strategy. I fucking love strategy games. I've always been an avid strategy gamer. That I feel like, well, we haven't gotten to experience much of each other, but I am oftentimes, other than here, I'll just say that right now, like, I feel rambly, I'm not quite coherent or keeping like a contiguous pattern of, you know, what we're fucking talking about, but in a strategy game, I could take over the world in a heartbeat 3 different ways and maybe only have to follow through with one. A little on-air burp for you. It's energy drinks. So with that being said, I'm gonna do, I guess, Ham's turn-based stuff. And stick with the overtones of, I guess, our current day and age, where we've entered into this nationalistic, imperialized war settings, where we, as a species, have decided that the best way forward is backwards. So, you know, there's plenty of people who have written about it, plenty of experiences to be had, and maybe we're not getting enough of that. You know, maybe we're so forgetful that the 30 to 40 Call of Duty games of World War II and the visceral just horrors of war were so much so not enough that we decided that we have to do it again, even though we have texts, we have recreations, we have cinema that all carry the same tone, but instead now we're gonna, you know, keep it going, and that sucks. And I guess part of my way of saying how that sucks is through video games. I think that the creators of a video game are ostensibly maybe the most prolific of all of the artisans. It encompasses almost every core value of artistry that you could hope to master, and then they put it all into one. And then the platitude of art is that you experience it, so then they give you the opportunity to experience it yourself. So, like, to me, video game creators embody the best of our artistic abilities, and then they give you the opportunity to set your own tone or to experience what they've made for you. And, you know, it would be... Oh! I'm not here. It's Wednesday. It's record day. What the fuck was I talking about before the phone went off? I couldn't even hear that, by the way, in the headphones. I had to look over and see that the phone was ringing. Oh no, I lost my train of thought again. Video games are great. People make them. I like them. They give you a chance to experience things. And then one of those experiences is rehashing things we've already been through as a species. Which, you know, hurts sometimes. So then sometimes it's got some feel goods. But ultimately, I think that moving forward, I would be able to compose myself to follow through with a minimal commentary on another series that follows through with some of the same overtones that we experienced here in Valkyria, and that's it's okay to have some hard feels, because, well, probably you're not the only one, but then not every, but most people find that can be relatable in some form or fashion. And I think that it's not just about creating like fun, exciting content. The studio has the potential to do so much. We call it the Wizard Tower, above the 9. Many connotations, but ultimately we're wizards. We do wizard shit. You know, a lot of loose magic up in here. Like, for real. Stacks of loose magic. I really lose my train of thought quickly. Here goes another one. Wave as it passes by. It'll probably take me like a whole nother hour to go through all of these pages. Like, at enough time where I can read through, or you can read through. I suppose you could just press pause. Whatever. You want to listen to me talk or you don't, I don't really care. That's number 2. That, and I have fallen a little bit out of practice with the lot, so I want to keep that up. Because we're not funny. I mean, we are funny, but like, when it counts, we're not funny. And we try pretty hard to like, well, the fun part about content creation is that you get to do it, so you get to be sitting here playing games and doing all this stuff. The not fun part is looking back on it and just hating your own voice, hating your general colloquialisms, whatever, piss poor cadence, everything that's wrong with everything that you do, and then you gotta stick it out and make the next one better than what you just did, because that's art. It's so fun. It hurts. And And in here we get that a lot of bit. It's so badass that we have the opportunity to do this. That it's almost daunting in a way. We put so much potential into the studio and the means by which the tech and the skill level and everything has progressed. It's insane to me to see like our years worth of progress from just creating videos on PlayStation, which by the way, most of our edited content comes from Share Factory. Because we don't have a computer that's strong enough to run like a video editor. But if you plug enough USBs into it, it can record. Kind of. That's basically as far as we've gotten. And farther, there's a lot of extra tech in here that I don't even understand. But it's pretty cool, you know, to know that it exists. And like the second that I learn how to use it, it becomes an invaluable tool. And that's maybe where I was going with all this, is that the tool of the Wizard Tower is fast and becoming just like I think about the different potentials in which we can use this outside of even gaming, and it's insane. But you gotta go with not only what you know, but like what feels good. And games to me have always felt good. For a lot of reasons. One being, though it may be linear in some form or fashion, it's the time delay for progression. You have this ability to progress as you see fit, and at a rate that's almost like exponential comparative to like real life, you know. And so you gotta look back and see that level of accomplishment outside of real time. And it's excluded in its own little subspace, if you will, and that has always made games super appealing to me. That, and to experience art, you know. Sometimes like you can get caught up in the moment. That is another aspect of gaming that like I feel makes it such an eternal art form, is that the experience of it, and that it encompasses so many, you know. You got art, or at least like the traditional technical drawings turned to a three-dimensional, not always even three-dimensional, just turned into a fluid and dynamic motions, and the scripting and the music, it's unparalleled. Somebody had to draw that. And then somebody had to take that drawing and turn it into a three-dimensional object. And then somebody had to take that three-dimensional object and add layers from the original drawing to give it the life that you see represented before you. Then somebody had to create the story behind the object, which required a history, though analogous to our own, and keep it within the construct of the game, and that's great. Fuck, I'm a bit of an artist in the traditional sense, and I fucking wish I had the time to create my own games. I've definitely probably gone off on a tangent again, but seriously, that's one reason I love strategy games. One of my favorites is the old Total War series, because each progression or movements and turn phases and all of that builds on your internal story arc, and everyone does that in their own game, be it Skyrim or Fallout or whatever. You create an internal story arc, and then you follow through with that, and then that'll actually affect your decision-making paradigms, because you will subconsciously attempt to adhere to your own narrative that you generated for a persona that only exists in this temporary phase. How crazy is that? So, I guess playing to my strengths, I wanted to keep up with this. The turn-based permadeath, where you end up. Now, Valkyria has sort of a no-fail scenario. And that's how it has to work, because the story is dependent on certain elements. And that was where, in spending all of the time editing, I found myself oh, what if this person died, or what if somebody did something awesome here? Did I highlight their story enough? And so I sought to look into these other titles that could offer a similar feel, maybe, and even carry the same weight. But we're inherently more brutal. My typical playstyle is put it on extreme and let God sort it out. I'm a half hearts, eyes wide open kind of guy. If I still have some life in me, I will take down the boss. No questions asked. We came to win. And it doesn't quite come through in the group plays, because we've yet to encounter scenarios or games that really push our boundaries as a crew, as a game group that has been playing together for a while, and we each yield to others, not so much differences, but just or strengths or whatever. But you know, everybody has that gaming identity that they carry with them, and within our group, the most prominent, is the group dynamic itself. We've been playing D&D together for a long time now. Magic, you fucking name it. We're hella nerds. I hate to use that word. Apologize. But we are big time nerds. And I've even written some D&D campaigns kind of stealing from Valkyria here. And just some of the exposition. It's fucking the encounters, like each one is perfect. It actually feels a little bit to me like I'm just playing a D&D campaign that's based in sort of like a World War II theme. Again, driving me towards that permadeath story arc with genuine loss, and that kind of makes your successes feel more heartfelt. So with the proliferation of this type of content forward, I learned from this experience. That was difficult at times and fun and exciting at times. But all in all, I think I'm not counting this as a loss, more as just that initial icebreaker, and that it's hit a halfway point that has made it possible for me to take what I've learned and branch into other games. I am definitely 100% gonna take on that challenge on extreme, and it's gonna be fun. It might be funny, but there's gonna be a few moments, because I tend to get a little attached to my characters. Every good DM gets a little attached to their NPCs. I forget which fantastical story writer, novelist, or who the fuck ever said it, but you know, you impart a little bit of yourself into every character that you create, and that's their life, and a lot of these characters are created for you, so then you find how you can how you connect differently in different ways with different characters, and then some you like more, some you like less. Always my striving goal is to not lose anybody, but as an avid and long-term strategy gamer, loss is something you have to accept, and doing so gracefully will keep you from losing everything. And there was a point in this series where like I felt like I was gonna lose the series because of whatever, and now that it's back, I'm realizing that that's just a part of playing the fucking game. It gets difficult. Whether it's difficult because of what's actually put into it and the gameplay, whatever. Sometimes those difficulties are ethereal. They don't have like a tangible sense, you know, and that comes from internal and emotive standpoints where you gotta break that ice. This part, when Alicia let go of those lion's paw seeds in hopes that she could grow anew amidst the destruction of their home, and how analogous a simple flora and its attachment to our psyche can be for home. Like there's a specific flower that grows where I live that only blooms once every 3 or 4 years, and you can only really find it in certain spots. You know, I could see how I knew how that felt in the game, and then to have it be so analogous to the current events and sunflowers and how hardships arbitrated towards people on behalf of nationalism and ideologies and whatever, how strong that can be and how emotive it can be. Like if I could sell this game on anything, it's this pig right here. Because that's the level of connection that we're looking for in every story. How real is it? And we inherently want to experience a tale that is more robust and encapsulating and emotionally, but like cognitively driven than say our own, because it's easier to supplant than it is to evolve. And wow, does this game deliver. It's also got like, oh, that's the end of them. I finally got to the end of it. And it's also got all this great content. I mean, I like reading in a game. Fun fact, one of my favorite things to do in Skyrim is collect all of the books and then just go read. Like, literally from wherever my stupid base camp is, just to take a book and then go read somewhere. Maybe kill a few fucking draugrs or go read in a dungeon. Just, you know, fucking, when are you gonna have that opportunity? Turns out you can do it in any game. And this one's got fun stuff. So, letting you know that I'm not letting go of the series. Oh shit, that's my phone ringing. Alright, so, to close it all out, Valkyria has been super fun. It's also been not super fun. I'm not giving up on the series, but we've reached a sweet halfway mark that allows me the opportunity to carry on with similar titles as I have become more proficient and dialing in turn-based combats so that now you maybe get to experience something you may have omitted in the past because the play style was not quite your thing. Hopefully, I can make something that affords you the option to experience some of those grand and exciting titles. The next up that is going to be in the ham folder is a game called Warsaw, which is about the invasion of Poland during World War II and the resistance forces, as with a lot of I've delved into it just a tiny bit. I played through the intro chapter to see how it looked. Just the opening scene is incredibly evocative. Hand drawn. It's got, like I said, a little bit of a Darkest Dungeon vibe. Decisions impact all aspects of the game. Everything moving forward finds its way to the end, and it's got permadeath. And it's what I love permadeath in games. Really makes you think. It also gives you something to really attach to, because having to pull through loss is one of the hardest things that you can do in life and in gaming, and it creates some of the most memorable moments because you're never getting it back. No, unless you start completely over. That's a discussion for another time. So, that's me. On my way out. Ham. Just a solo ham kind of day.
I'm in a box.